वो कहते हैं ना जब ऊपर वाला देता है तो छप्पर फाड़ के देता है, मैं तो कहता हूँ जब नीचे वाले देते हैं ना
क्या
छप्पर फाड़
बात
के
है,
देते हैं.
अरे
You get love in public and you get shame in public. Earlier there were times that ये क्या picture है, were making lots of money. And then nobody was saying anything, even though behind the doors they were like कि यार मुझे तो
मतलब
बिल्कुल
ये
अच्छी
मूवी ने
लगी.
कैसे कमा लिया पता नहीं.
Because genuinely for me success is not the number of rupees, dollars in my bank account. It is the opportunities that I can keep getting of doing work. That is success. But you just have to sit at home. Then you're in a jail with 1,000 crores. What are you going to do? You're going to buy all the Gucci's, LVs and Pradas and whatever that is to you. You will buy a very expensive sports car that you can't drive on these roads, which will become a seesaw on a, on a speed breaker.
Hi, this is Bhavna and you're watching India Today. Today I'm joined by a very special person. Of course, he's a great actor, but now he's also a great director and a writer. अगर आपने अभी तक गेस नहीं किया है तो let me just tell you, it's Kunal Kevu in the house and a huge welcome, Kunal. How are you?
Thank you, very good.
I have to again reiterate how much I have loved Madgaon Express.
Thank you so much.
I am also overwhelmed to see the kind of love the film is receiving, because I truly believe it is a film that needs to receive this love. Is it overwhelming for you as well? Because I know this is a very special project for you. It took a maybe a little longer time for it to finally look the way it does. And the love that you're receiving as a director, is it overwhelming?
I mean, I wouldn't say overwhelming, but I'm saying I'm very happy to get all of it, because overwhelming would be that I can't handle it. But I can handle it, and I'm cherishing every single comment that is coming towards me, which is filled with love. I'm also looking at the very few critics that have said things that could have been better, and I'm making a note of it. I'm just saying, like, some people may have not enjoyed it as much as the others, or if somebody said that the music wasn't like up to the mark and like they could have been better. So I'm kind of making note of all the things, because this is my first, right? So I want to actually not just bask in the glory of everything that is great. I also want to look at where I can do better and what I can learn from this, which I have anyways. During the making and the post-production of the film, there are notes that I made. Okay, this I've learned, I can do this better next time. So I'll keep all of those things in mind, because I do want more and more people to connect with the films that I want to make or the stories that I want to tell. But having said that, I don't think I was prepared for the kind of love that's come my way. I could have only hoped for it, I could have only dreamed about it, but I'm very happy that I'm getting it. And I'm also, it kind of reconfirms my belief in the fact that if you keep doing what you love and you do it with all that you believe in, it may take some time, but वो कहते हैं ना जब ऊपर वाला देता है तो छप्पर फाड़ के देता है, मैं तो कहता हूँ जब नीचे वाले देते हैं ना तो छप्पर फाड़ के देता है. Because it's amazing that we are almost 8 weeks now and we're still in theaters. If you had asked me that अगर ऐसा हुआ तो I'd be like ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता, कुछ भी हो जाए. But I'm happy that we are.
But while you're talking, Kunal, one thing that I have always seen is the sincerity that you hold towards your craft or towards anything that you do is apparent. Like, you can just see through it that you're sincere with everything that you do. After so many years in the industry, seeing all the ups and downs, how easy or difficult is it to hold on to your belief and your conviction and your sincerity? Because everything gets tested a lot more, and then when you see the results, you feel like, okay, fine, it was worth keeping that sincerity, intact. But what keeps that?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, but I think that it's not something that you can choose to do or not do. It's who you are, and I've chosen to be in this field because I love everything about it, and I feel that this is where I can be me. Madgaon Express is not a story that you've never seen before. There have been dime a dozen films about 3 friends going on a trip, and even that trip going wrong. But it is about these 3 friends and what they are made up of, and they got put in this situation and what happens. So I just feel that it's coming from a place of being sincere to my art, and I'm very happy that it connected. But like you said, there are testing times where you're tested, it goes up and down. Even in those times, you may get bitter about the fact that how do I keep being myself and make a mark for myself? But you can only wait for that to change, because if you change, then you will lose the one thing that you're in control of, because I think the only thing you're in control of and that you can actually change is yourself. The times will be what they are.
Can I just give you a high five on that? Because I know it's very difficult to be yourself, especially given, I mean, every industry has their ups and downs, but I think with showbiz, because everything is so in front of everyone, it's not closed door, everything is just there for people to see, it's a lot more difficult. And
I mean, it is. It's also like, you get love in public and you get shame in public.
Criticism is...
and it's out there. I think to a certain extent we are also responsible for that, because we've also decided to put ourselves so much in the public domain and for everything for people to see and judge. So I think we have to be prepared for that, whether we like it or not. And then at times we can kind of shut that window and say, I don't want to look at this, and only I just want to look at the love that's coming my way, but hate I don't care about, and these guys are whoever they are. I mean, to each their own, but like I said, you got to find what makes you come out of bed and say, I want to do this so that I can sleep peacefully, and do that. And unfortunately, at times, it's not always in your hand. I mean, it's not like you go and practice a sport and then you get that one shot, and based on that caliber, things can change for you. It's also showbiz where there's so much competition. Like, even for Madgaon Express, I feel that luck also had a big role to play in this, because with whatever delays and however the film got made, the film ended up coming in a time where there had been a dearth of comedy films.
Absolutely.
We could have very well landed in time where there were 2 good comedies before me and 2 more coming, and the questions were like, why did you decide to make another comedy, so I do kind of thank my stars that have finally seemed to have aligned.
No. No, but I also feel, I mean, just to set the record straight, according to me, I just feel it's not just that. Luck, of course, at some point it does play a huge factor, but at the same time, if the film was not that great,
of course,
it wouldn't have worked the way.
No, of course, I'm saying that merit, you can't take away that from anything, but I'm just saying that we've lived in this world where we've seen films that just got released at the wrong time and never got appreciation or love, and and you're like, hey, what happened to that? Like, for example, Andaz Apna Apna, I still can't understand what happened. And I have been a part of films where people have liked the film, they've loved me in the film, but it didn't kind of do what it needed to do. And at the same time, there are films that luckily now we're calling a spade, and they're saying ki ye kya picture hai. Earlier there were times that ye kya picture hai were making lots of money, and then nobody was saying anything, even though behind the doors they were like कि यार मुझे तो
मतलब ये मूवी ने कैसे कमा लिया पता ही नहीं चला,
और उनकी वजह से क्या हुआ, फिर प्रोजेक्ट्स बनने लगे, फिल्में बनना बंद हो गई. I think this is a good time. I think post-pandemic, anyways, there was a kind of a correction, and even though the industry is losing money, but this is how you learn. When you fall down and you get hurt, you know how to run better. So I think overall, I mean, look at this time, and there have been amazing films like Lapata Ladies. Chamkila has been such a phenomenal film, and I'm very happy that I've come at a time where there are films like these. That you say that okay, we are going to make exciting films, and I think that we have to hope for better films to come.
What is also missing in today's time is where, or at least in comedies that I have watched in the last 3 years or 4 years maybe, you see that there's this forced, not humor, but just like there are certain, like you said, projects, unko project ki tarah mount kiya jata hai, wherein you know that you have to put certain elements, there needs to be a little adult comedy, or there needs to be these ingredients for it to work. I think your film, Madgaon Express, kind of is like a textbook example that you can just purely base a story on characters and a situation and it will do well. You don't need to force elements into it.
That's true. See, doing well is another thing, because box office is a different barometer which we don't know. I mean, today we can say that it did so much, it was great. Could it have done more? I don't know. Could it have done less? Maybe. But I'm saying the love that comes for a film, that is completely different. And like you mentioned correctly, there are some films that are plot driven, then there are films that are character driven. Madgaon is a character driven film, and that's what I'm most happy about, is the fact that the audiences saw that. It didn't come across as like कि अरे तो वही पुराना idea है, 3 दोस्त गोवा गए फंस गए. They in fact ignored that, and they just said that this is so fresh and this is so new. And that makes me believe that, this is also, I'm saying keep the box office success separate, which is thankfully, luckily happened for this one. That is also success where, the people resonate with it, and it becomes a film that becomes, a lingo of like, I met so many people who, you know, in theaters when I went, they said, ये हमारे group का Dodo है, ये हमारे group का Pinku है. So it becomes like this, right? Like when we saw Dil Chahta, we were kind of saying that who's like an Amir, who's like Saif, and who's like Akshay. So that I feel gives me more, you know, creative satisfaction and happiness.
आपके group के आप कौन हो?
मुझे पता नहीं है, मेरे तो एक्चुअली ग्रुप ही नहीं है ज्यादा.
नहीं, पर जितने भी होस्ट में, are you Dodo, Pinku, or like are you?
I don't think I could say that I'm one of them. I think I have more shades of Dodo, because when it comes to humor, at least with my close knit friends, I am that loud humor guy. Yeah. But again, Dodo is also a mix of a lot of people, and that's what you kind of do, right? I wish I could also be as blatant as this and say that. So you kind
For me, you know, when I was in the theater and when the railway station scene happened, right? And when Dodo goes like all out, for me, for a flip second, I was like, oh, this is definitely written by Kunal. Because it just brought, like you said, I can see shades of different characters in you also, but Dodo a lot more. Yeah, so I when you was talking, I was just like, yeah, Dodo.
I had written Dodo for myself.
Yeah. Oh, then why did you not?
I was not supposed to direct this film, right? When I wrote it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Correct.
When I wrote it, I thought like, firstly, I don't even know if it'll get made. If it gets made, then I would like to play a part. So I written that part for myself.
I can actually imagine you playing Dodo. So that's amazing. But also, you know, another amazing thing about your writing is the fact that, although I don't know if it's intentional or not, you can correct me, but the male characters, because I heard you say in a podcast where you spoke about like how you view human beings as just human beings and not like alpha or I want to know, is it like a conscious effort to make sure that the characters that are being written, because this is a film which is mostly led by a male cast, that they're written in a way where you are not afraid of showing men to be vulnerable and stupid and like little erratic, because usually we have a certain notion, even though it's comedy.
You know, honestly, I'd never let agendas drive my writing. I feel that's the creative freedom that you're kind of doing. I don't want to burden it with anything, because anyways now, especially in our life, we are burdened with being politically right. Gone are the times where they'll be like, "Arey, to diplomatic aadmi, politically." Now they're saying, "Please be diplomatic, please be politically right." यार, picture ban हो रही है, you know, मतलब आंदोलन हो रहे हैं, आपको ban किया जा रहा है. तो now, given that we are in this time, this is your only outlet of expressing, which I think acting also is, but that's also still limited by what is written and what the director wants you to do. But I think in writing, I don't let anything, it is me, it is what I believe in, or sometimes depending on the genre, it's not necessarily what I believe, this is what the character is going to do. And I just have to be honest and true to this character. I am not going to let anything decide for him. Like I honestly, when I remember when in Pune and all we had these screenings, and you know, a lot of women, even in Bombay when we went to just meet the Janta, a lot of girls came up to me and saying that we really love that you showed you know, women equality and feminism in the right way without you know, asking for it and saying it. But that's how I see it. It's not like I said कि मेरी picture में heroine ऐसी होगी. That was never my brief. I have always seen them equal, and I have never seen कि one is up and one is less, and that's how they were. So that was also not agenda driven. So if there is a film where a woman character needs to be slightly meek, she will be. It's not going to be like I am trying to show a woman like this. I am writing a fictional story in the fictional world. Now they will be derived from my own experiences and what my own understanding of things is.
Oh, where did this name Comedy Gang come from? It is so funny. Like just the thought of it makes me laugh.
I see Mendoza and Kanchan were two characters which were very comic bookish for me. So वो मैंने सोचा भी नहीं था. The whole process of writing this film has been self-discovery also, and I think that's my style of writing. Whatever I've been writing and I am writing is, I have an idea, but then I start writing it, because it's like जब तक आप चलोगे नहीं, आपको क्या पता आपको कहाँ जाना है. अगर आप पहले से सोच लोगे मैं 2 दिन यहाँ हूँ, 1 दिन वहाँ जाऊँगा, आपको रास्ते में बारिश होगी. जैसे कल हम घर से निकले, हमको थोड़ी पता तूफान आएगा. तो that's how I try to write. So I started finding these characters. So when there was a knock on the door, I just knew there are these 3 women wearing this sari and holding these chashmas, and they're looking, and she says something to him, to which he's going to be this NRI-ish guy who's going to be like hello, and she has to say something that is weird. So I was like, इसका नाम क्या रखें? तो I was like, इसका नाम कंचन रखते हैं. कंचन क्या? कंचन कोमड़ी रखते हैं. ऐसे ही तो वो ऐसे लिख दिया. तो क्योंकि उसको भी समझ में नहीं आया कॉमेडी सरनेम तो हो नहीं सकता, फिर मैंने भी कहा कॉमेडी सरनेम तो नहीं हो सकता, तो क्या करें, तो फिर वहां से वो थोड़ी स्टोरी बनेगी, इसने ऐसा किया होगा कि कॉमेडी की वजह से इसका नाम पड़ा है. And all of that. So it was a discovery through.
But it is so funny, and it will become a cult, like how we talk about Crime Master Gogo.
Right. I hope so.
Like that character will always remain iconic. I feel that these characters will remain iconic eventually.
I hope so. That'd be great.
No, but have you thought of making a second part? Because I have to tell you, when I was going through comments, everyone has really been asking कि कुणाल भाई, एक तो उन्होंने सबको आपको भाई बना दिया है, तो everyone is like कुणाल भाई या फिर bro, when are you making season 2? So to all the people who are asking.
No, of course. I mean, I'd love to, but like I always maintain, कि पहली बार आप जब कोई फिल्म देखने आते हैं तो आपका एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं थी, तो मडगांव एक्सप्रेस से एक्सपेक्टेशंस नहीं थी, लेकिन अब आपको इतनी पसंद आई है कि अब उसकी एक्सपेक्टेशंस बन गई हैं, तो अब ये मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि उन एक्सपेक्टेशंस पे खरा उतरना है. तो पहले तो लिखाई करनी होगी, थॉट्स तो है दिमाग में बहुत सारे, बट आई विल ऑनेस्टली ओनली डू इट इफ आफ्टर राइटिंग इट, बिकॉज आई थिंक दैट आई वाज द फर्स्ट ऑडियंस ऑफ दिस फिल्म, बिकॉज आई रोट इट and I enjoyed it as an audience and I made it. So if I as an audience, keeping everything aside, just on the basis of a story and these characters behaving, if I feel कि हाँ यार ये at least is at the level of Madgaon Express, if not better, then yes, then of course I will pitch it आगे, नहीं तो मैं खुद आगे pitch भी नहीं करूँगा. But having said that, the attempt and the intent is to do that, but I will not only do it because I will not make a project, I will make a film.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely actually to hear, because today everything is more formula based, right? Like if it's work, let's do another season,
but I see it, because at the end of the day it is a business, whether we like it or hate it, because if people don't make money, if it doesn't do well, then nobody will invest money. I get that, but I'm saying that's why I'm not a producer. That is for the producer to decide. I will try my best to convince this producer that this will make money, and that's what's been the most rewarding, because genuinely for me success is not the number of rupees, dollars in my bank account. It is the opportunities that I can keep getting of doing work. That is success. Because पैसा तो यहाँ वहाँ से कैसे भी बन जाएगा या नहीं बनेगा, ज़्यादा कम का मुझे पता नहीं है. But success for me is that if I want to do this, I should be able to make it as an actor, as a writer, as a director. So that's why the first thing for me was important. Like, there is somebody who's putting money in my project. It has to recover that. If not make a profit, at least he should recover that money. So now that we've done that and made some profit, now I want to go and say that I believe in this. Now can we do this?
But also, like you said, the definition of success, I believe, also keeps changing from time to time. Right? At a certain age, success meant something else. Maybe a few years later, it means something else.
It's always been the same in my case.
Really?
For me, success has always been to be able to see, because what do we do when we get up in the morning? We need to do something. Let's say you have 1,000 crores, but you just have to sit at home. Then you're in a jail with 1,000 crores. What are you going to do? You're going to buy all the Gucci's, LVs and Pradas and whatever that is to you. You will buy a very expensive sports car that you can't drive on these roads, which will become a seesaw on a speed breaker.
So true.
And then you'll buy 2 more, and then you'll buy. But what will you do after that? You need something to do which makes you happy. Now that is an opportunity that you land and you can live. So if you can't do that, I don't think you're successful. So that's what I mean. Like, ever since I was 21 and I wanted to be in films, is because it made me happy to be an actor, to be an entertainer that made people happy. And I could only do that if my film did well, and if I liked the script, then I could go to somebody saying, I like this script, can we make it? Of course we can make it, because you're saleable. But no, if your films are not doing well, then it's like, hey, listen man, you gotta wait, because your film's not been doing well and we can't mount it with you. So then you're sitting and waiting. Now, even if you have the money, what are you gonna do with it? You can travel as much, and that is one thing. That is very important. But what is that drives you? So as long as you can drive the car that you want to drive, and it can be driven on the road that you want to, then you can enjoy it. So I think that's what I mean. Success.
No, that's absolutely correct. And the moment you said that, it actually made sense. And I was like, thank you. Please manifest all of that for me. I would love all of that.
And we all try to do that, right? We all work towards that.
Yeah.